Hi, this is a 2-minute tech tip. It'll probably be more like a 5-minute tech tip, but I wanted to get through a couple of things in Discord to show you, first of all, how I manage notifications and student messages and things, and then also just to give you some tips and orientation to the interface. So I'm using the desktop app version. If you're using the phone app or the web browser version, and I never recommend the web browser version because it's a little limited, but anyhow, if you're using one of the other apps, it'll be similar, but the interface will be a little different. So first off, what do I do when I have 135 students logging in all at once? How do I keep track of that? I have a couple of strategies. So I'm going to pick on Alexandria here for just a minute. When I see somebody log in, so the first thing is I'm having you guys give me a message so that I know it's my class, because there are some other classes in here. So I look for that, and everybody's been really good about posting that. Once I see that, I click on the name and it brings up a little profile, and I'm able, because I have the authority to add to roles, I'm able to see she's in 76300. So I clicked on that role. I click on the B30 role, and now she has access to my class channels and categories. So we'll get to that part in a minute. The other thing I do is I type a note down here. I put in the person's name and the section. Now the reason I do that is because if I send them a message here, where that displays is out in the home menu. So if you click up here in home, you'll see all the different messages, all the different people I've messaged. And there it doesn't show a lot of the information. And so I can just click on their name and see that. Now, I just clicked off. I did that a little backwards. But anyhow, once I do that, now that I can't find her message again, I'll go back and actually, you know what? I'll show you search. Up here, I'll go from Alex. And there it is. Shows me all the messages, and here's the message I was just working with. So I'm going to jump to that message, and it brings me right up to that message. So the other thing that I do when I am processing messages from students is help me keep track. As I come up, I click the emojis, and for this particular one, I decided to do the sun with the cloud. I don't know why. Okay, it's got a white cloud, which is why WHI actually was going to do this check, right? But then I saw the sun with the cloud and I decided to do that. So anyhow, that visually cues to me that I've already processed that message. And so you'll notice as you go down the list, you have that. So I'm able to look back and see who I've dealt with, who I've given the role to, who I've processed. So those are the couple of strategies that I use to keep track. And then I have a spreadsheet with everybody's name in it. So I just make a note in the spreadsheet, yes, you're in Discord. Then I can scan down the sheet and see who made it. Now, let me show you a couple of other orientation things to Discord here. Discord is set up in categories, and it's set up in announcements, okay? Or in channels, I mean. And so channels can have different names, and channels can be grouped under categories. So we'll be doing all the stuff for my class in this EDUC B30 Curdy category. There are some general channels. There is an actual general channel, but there's 4 channels that are general to everyone. Everybody in my class that has one of those roles can see those channels. All right. General is for general chatter, whatever you guys want to talk about related to the class. Random I put in there for teaching and learning techniques. Maybe we'll share some tips and tricks and different things there. Help desk is for the technical stuff, like if you're stuck on something or you have a question about a class related item. And then announcements actually is something that is read only. So I'm the only one that can post here, but you guys can read it. And if there's something I want everybody to see without a lot of clutter, I have this set to read only. So that's a really useful channel. You should always check there, see if there's any announcements. Now, what's also interesting is because of the roles that I put you in that are related to your class, you will only see one of these 3 channels. You won't see all 3 of them. That's because I wanted to be able to segment a little bit because we have so many students taking this class right now. I just wanted to be able to segment that a little bit per class. You don't want to shoot out a message like I have you do the introduction videos there. You know, you may not want to send that out to 135 people, just to the people in your class, and that's perfectly okay. It'll help you keep track of things. So categories and channels are a pretty basic structure here. Now, one of the things that's really useful is you can collapse all the other channels. Okay, so if you don't want to see them, it'll show you when there's a new message, like there's a new message here. But otherwise, you can get them out of your way and collapse it down so you have a much more streamlined view of things. As you can see, you get notifications. If this is somebody that probably mentioned me, it's probably somebody that just dropped into the server. So I'll go deal with that when we're done with the video here. But another way you can tell there's new stuff is this little half circle on the outside. And the channel's slightly darker. The contrast for me is not that great between the unread and the read, but the little circle, half circle, is a definite tip off. And then I also have the icon, the Discord icon, where it says, hey, you got 3 unread messages in there. So there's a couple of features built in. You can also right click a channel for notification settings if you right click it, and it will give you some options like what do you want to see. So if you want to mute a channel, like you don't want to hear from that channel, then you can do that and it won't give you any notifications, which is pretty useful. Let me go to, I'm trying to think if I have anything pinned here. Okay, this is a good example. So I'm going to the general channel and you notice the pin icon has a dot. That means there's something pinned that I haven't read yet. So I'm going to click on that, which is ironic because I'm the one that put it here, but it still marks it as unread for me until I open the pin. So I put it here and it will show whatever messages are pinned to the top of the channel in reverse order. So I pinned the image first, like some of you guys got in there right away and you saw that at the top of the channel. It's still there. And then this is one that I pinned about changing your nickname. I can scroll all the way back to the top of a channel, but you can tell after a while, sometimes there might be information. In my classes, I usually have a Zoom chat channel, and at the top is where I pin the information for how to connect to Zoom. So those are the main things that I wanted to show you, is just how I process and keep track of student participation and things that I've read so that I know that I've responded or graded or checked off. I've done whatever I was supposed to do, is that I put a reaction, and I always pick the same reaction so that I can tell. And then I showed you how to do channels and categories and how to identify what is unread and the notifications. I showed you how to collapse the categories so you can streamline your view. And I showed you what pin messages are. So I think if you can figure out those couple of things, Discord will be a much easier interface for you to navigate. And hopefully you'll have a lot of fun and you'll learn a few things along the way.